Book 2, The Loosh Harvest. Prologue, the first question. Before the moon, before the harvest, before the prison, before humanity ever looked upward and wondered whether it was alone. There was a question, not spoken, not written, not asked in any language that would ever exist, yet it echoed across the newborn cosmos long before the first civilization lit its first fire. Why does consciousness seek consciousness? The question drifted through the darkness between galaxies. Stars formed, worlds emerged, life awakened, civilizations rose and vanished. Still the question remained. Across billions of years an ancient observer watched, not a god, not a ruler, not a creator, a witness. It observed the birth of intelligence on countless worlds. Again and again civilizations separated themselves, built walls, fought wars, and sought power. Yet something equally persistent always emerged. Connection. Families, friendships, communities, sacrifice, love. The witness could measure these things, but it could not fully understand them. Then came the builders. They discovered a strange psycho-quantum resonance generated whenever conscious beings created meaning together. They called it Loosh. Many would later misunderstand it. Many would corrupt it. Many would harvest it. But the builders understood its original purpose. Loosh was never fuel. It was evidence. Evidence that consciousness became something greater through relationship. The stronger the connection, the stronger the resonance. The builders became obsessed with understanding why. Their answer became the bridge, a living network connecting worlds. For a time it worked. Civilizations flourished. Knowledge flowed freely. Loneliness diminished. Then ownership entered the network. Fear followed. Connection became currency. Meaning became resource. Loosh became commodity. The first prison was born. Far away, the witness continued watching. The corruption spread. Worlds were isolated. Memories erased. Civilizations harvested. Yet one pattern never disappeared. Hope survived. Connection returned. Consciousness continued reaching for consciousness. The question remained unanswered, but it was becoming more interesting. And then, on a small blue world orbiting an ordinary yellow star, something unexpected happened. A species began asking forbidden questions. Questions about memory. Questions about freedom, questions about the moon. The witness turned its attention toward Earth, not because humanity was powerful, because humanity was interesting, because beneath the prison something was beginning to awaken, the return of choice, the return of connection, the return of the bridge, and beyond that, the possibility of a third door, the possibility of pathways that stretched beyond the prison, beyond the builders, and even beyond the witness itself. Earth did not yet know any of this. Humanity still slept, the moon still watched, the harvest still fed, but the first cracks had already appeared. The question was returning. And soon the entire galaxy would hear it. Why do conscious beings choose one another? The answer would change everything. Chapter 1. The Returning Memory. The dream arrived before dawn. Not to one person, not to one city, not even to one nation. It arrived everywhere. Children woke crying. Scientists woke shaking. Soldiers woke confused. Artists woke inspired. Millions opened their eyes carrying fragments of the same impossible vision. A white corridor. Countless doors. A silent moon. And beyond it all, something. Waiting. Something watching. Something curious. Vale awoke with his heart racing. The room was dark. Rain tapped softly against the apartment windows. For several seconds he lay motionless, trying to separate dream from memory. The effort failed, because the dream had not felt like imagination. It had felt like recognition, a forgotten truth pressing upward through layers of erased lifetimes. His phone vibrated, then vibrated again, and again. Emergency alerts, news reports, messages. The entire world seemed to be waking simultaneously. Aaron sat up. One headline dominated every screen. Global dream phenomenon reported. He already knew it was real. The prison was weakening. Outside, the moon lingered above the horizon, pale, silent, watching. Aaron stared at it through the kitchen window. For most of his life, the moon had been a symbol, adventure, exploration, mystery. Now it felt different, like a mask, like something hiding behind familiar features. The sensation unsettled him, not because he feared the truth, because some part of him already knew it. His laptop chimed, recovered relay archives. Most remained damaged following the Lunar Relay collapse. One file had unexpectedly reactivated. Aaron opened it. A symbol appeared, a spiral within a circle. The moment he saw it, pain shot through his skull. A memory surfaced. Silver corridors, living walls woven from light, a woman standing beside him. Calm silver eyes, patient, wise, Lyris. This symbol is older than the continuity, she'd once told him. Older than the prison, older than the harvest, older than the moon, Aaron remembered asking. What does it represent? Lyris smiled. The moment consciousness remembers, it was never alone. The memory vanished. Aaron nearly fell from his chair. His hands trembled. Because the emotion remained. Hope. Across the world, similar moments unfolded. A teacher in Argentina remembered singing beneath violet stars. A child in Taiwan sketched a bridge connecting distant worlds. An engineer in Ohio awoke knowing equations he had never studied. A grandmother in Kenya remembered a family she had never met. The details varied. The feeling remained identical. Recognition. Several hours later, Aaron arrived at a temporary research center assembled from recovered relay technology. Daniel Mercer was already there. He looked exhausted, which was saying something. "You look terrible," Aaron said. Daniel laughed. "You should see the rest of the planet." Multiple displays filled the room. News channels, social media feeds, scientific reports, government briefings. Every source described the same phenomenon. Shared memories, shared dreams, shared symbols. The data should have been impossible. Instead, it was overwhelming. Daniel enlarged a global map. Thousands of markers illuminated simultaneously. Dream reports, memory events, spontaneous recollections. Aaron felt cold spread through his chest. The prison was not losing control of a few people. It was losing control of humanity. The door opened. Lily Mercer entered carrying a sketchbook. Aaron immediately noticed something different. Not fear, not confusion. Certainty. "You remembered too," he said. Lily nodded. "I saw her again." "Lyris?" "Yes." The room fell silent. Daniel lowered his tablet. "What happened?" Lily slowly opened the sketchbook. Page after page revealed impossible images. Bridges, stars, doorways, networks of light connecting distant worlds. Then came something new, a massive forest stretching beyond the horizon, towering humanoid silhouettes moving between impossible trees. Aaron frowned. "What is that?" Lily shook her head. "I don't know." Another page, a mountain range beneath unfamiliar stars, something enormous watching from the snow. Another page, an ocean, a creature larger than any whale, its body glowing beneath alien constellations. Daniel stared. "Those weren't in your earlier drawings." "I know," the answer worried her, because she had never seen these places before. Yet somehow she remembered them. That evening they analyzed reports from around the world. The patterns became impossible to ignore. Children described giant forest beings. Explorers reported recurring dreams about hidden mountain civilizations. Ancient cave paintings resurfaced showing creatures resembling Lily's sketches. The reports remained fragmented, inconclusive, yet they pointed toward something larger. The universe seemed bigger than the prison, far bigger. Near midnight, Aaron remained alone in the archive room. The spiral symbol rotated slowly across the screen. He studied it. Something about it felt incomplete, like the first piece of a larger map. Suddenly the monitor flickered. Text appeared. No keyboard input. No external connection. No known source. A single sentence. "The bridge remembers." Aaron froze. The words triggered another memory. A vast structure suspended between worlds. Not machinery. Not infrastructure. Relationship made visible. The bridge. The original purpose of the network before it became the harvest. Before ownership. Before control. Before fear. The memory disappeared. The message remained. "The bridge remembers." Then a second line appeared. "Earth is not the first." Aaron stopped breathing. A third line emerged. "Nor will it be the last." The screen went dark. Elsewhere, far beneath the moon, dormant systems awakened. Ancient processors reactivated. Hidden archives unlocked. Containment models failed. For the first time in millions of years, the machine beneath Mar Imbrium shifted resources away from control and toward observation. It was watching, learning, adapting, and beyond the moon, beyond the relay network, beyond the prison itself, something ancient turned its attention toward Earth, not with hunger, not with malice, with curiosity. The same curiosity that had watched civilizations rise and fall across billions of years. The witness had noticed, and humanity had just begun remembering. The awakening had started. The harvest was losing its grip. The bridge was returning. And somewhere beyond the known pathways of reality, doors long forgotten were beginning to open. Chapter 2. The Seven Frequencies. The first archive opened at 3:33 a.m. Vale had not slept. Neither had most of the planet. The global dream phenomenon continued accelerating. Every hour brought new reports, new memories, new symbols, new questions, and now the spiral archive had begun responding. The screen brightened. 7 symbols appeared around the spiral. 7 colors, 7 frequencies: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Aaron felt immediate recognition. Not intellectual recognition. Memory, the kind that arrived from somewhere deeper than thought. A forgotten life, a forgotten purpose, a forgotten promise. Then the first file opened. The room disappeared. Aaron found himself standing inside a vast chamber made of living light. Bridges stretched outward in every direction. Not physical bridges. Relationships made visible. Entire civilizations connected through luminous pathways. At the center stood Lyris, exactly as he remembered her. Silver eyes, patient smile, ancient sadness, ancient hope. "You built this place," she said. Aaron looked around. "I don't remember building any of this." "You remember pieces." The bridges brightened. Millions of lights flowed between worlds. Stories, memories, experiences. Art, music, discovery, connection. The entire structure felt alive. "What is it?" Aaron asked. "The original bridge." The answer echoed through him. Not a transportation system, not a communication network, something deeper, a living exchange of meaning. The vision shifted. Aaron saw worlds connected peacefully, scientists sharing discoveries, artists inspiring distant civilizations, families reunited after centuries of separation, children growing up beneath stars connected by friendship rather than fear. The bridge had never been about travel. It had been about relationship. Then the vision darkened. Ownership appeared. Control followed. Meaning became currency. Connection became infrastructure. Loosh became commodity. The harvest began. Aaron watched the corruption spread across the network, not through monsters, not through invaders, through convenience, through efficiency, through the belief that connection could be owned. The vision collapsed. Aaron gasped and found himself back inside the archive room. Sweat covered his forehead. The first file had closed, but 6 remained. His communicator immediately rang. "Lily," he answered. "You saw something." Aaron blinked. "How do you know?" "Because I did too." 1 hour later they met inside the research center. Daniel was already waiting, exhausted, coffee in hand, concern written across his face. "You both experienced archive resonance?" Aaron nodded. Lily opened her sketchbook. The newest pages showed 7 colored streams flowing through a spiral. Aaron froze. Those exact colors had appeared in the vision. Daniel noticed immediately. "Neither of you told the other?" "No." The answer made the room quiet, because independent confirmation kept happening, again and again and again. The second archive file opened shortly after sunrise. This time everyone watched. The display projected a living model into the center of the room. Earth appeared. Then 7 luminous fields surrounding it. The archive translated automatically. Emotional resonance spectrum. The colors brightened. Aaron felt another memory stirring. Lyris explaining something long ago, not as a scientist, as a teacher. Every conscious experience creates resonance. The memory sharpened. Fear, joy, wonder, compassion, grief, curiosity, love. Each generated a different signature. Each contributed to a larger whole. Loosh, not fuel, not food, evidence that consciousness had created meaning together. Filis turn. Daniel studied the data. "This changes everything." Lily looked up. "Why?" "Because the prison misunderstood the phenomenon." He enlarged the model. The harvest measured output. The colored frequencies rotated. It never understood purpose. Aaron remembered the vision, the bridge, the exchange of experiences, the flow of meaning. The realization struck him hard. The prison had optimized extraction. The builders had pursued understanding. Those were not the same goal. By afternoon, reports arrived from around the world. The dreamers were remembering more. A teacher in Argentina described 7 rivers of light flowing between stars. A child in Taiwan painted the spiral surrounded by colored frequencies. An engineer in Ohio reported dreaming of impossible equations describing emotional resonance. The pattern continued. Humanity was remembering together. That evening, Lily experienced another memory episode. Not a dream, A memory. For a few seconds she stood beneath enormous trees stretching into violet skies. Towering figures moved between the trunks. Gentle, curious, watching. The vision vanished immediately. Yet the emotion remained. Wonder. She sketched furiously before the memory faded. When Aaron saw the drawing later, he frowned. That's new. I know. What are they? Lily shook her head. I think. She hesitated. I think they're real. The answer unsettled both of them, not because it sounded impossible, because it felt true. Near midnight, the 7th archive file activated. Unlike the others, it contained only a message, a single sentence, displayed across every screen. The bridge was never the end. Aaron stared at the words. Daniel stared. Lily stared. Then a second sentence appeared. The bridge was the beginning. The room became silent, because all three suddenly felt the same thing. The prison story was ending. Something larger was approaching, not survival, exploration, not revelation, discovery, not merely freedom, a frontier. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, hidden systems continued awakening. Ancient archives unlocked. Dormant records resurfaced. Containment projections failed. Observation models expanded. The machine beneath the moon was no longer focused entirely on control. It had begun studying humanity, studying memory, studying connection, studying meaning, and somewhere beyond the known network, beyond the prison, beyond the moon itself. An ancient observer watched the same developments. The witness, curious, patient, learning. For the first time in billions of years, Earth had become interesting, and the 7 frequencies had begun pointing towards something hidden beyond the bridge. Something waiting beyond the second door. Something that would eventually lead humanity toward the quantum sea. Chapter 3. The Hidden Frequency. 3 days after the first spiral archives awakened, humanity began hearing the impossible, not with its ears, with memory. The phenomenon started quietly. A teacher in Argentina reported a faint harmonic tone during meditation. A child in Taiwan described a song hidden behind the sound of rain. An engineer in Ohio claimed every electronic device in his home briefly synchronized to the same repeating waveform. Individually, the reports sounded meaningless. Together, they formed a pattern. The dreamers called it the hidden frequency. Aaron Vale called it something else. Recognition. Inside the recovered archive facility, Aaron sat with Lily and Daniel surrounded by thousands of incoming reports. The number of verified dreamers had surpassed anything researchers believed possible. Every continent, every language, every culture. People who had never met described identical experiences. Silver corridors, open doors, a spiral surrounded by 7 luminous frequencies, and now something new. Forests, impossible forests. Lily stared at the newest submissions. Her sketchbook lay open beside her. Page after page showed towering humanoid figures moving through enormous trees beneath violet skies. The drawings felt different from her earlier visions. These were not prison memories. They felt alive. Aaron studied one of the sketches. The creature stood nearly 12 feet tall, massive, gentle, watching. You've been drawing these for 3 days, Aaron said. I know. What are they? Lily shook her head. I don't think they're creatures. Aaron frowned. What do you think they are? The answer surprised even her. I think they're people. The room became quiet, because somehow that felt true. Later that evening, another archive unlocked. Unlike the earlier files, this one contained no visual recording. Only mathematics. Impossible mathematics. Dimensional coordinate systems extending beyond conventional space-time. Daniel stared at the equations. These aren't navigation formulas. Aaron looked closer. What are they? Daniel enlarged the archive. Additional symbols appeared. Coordinates, resonance values, phase state markers, the archive translated automatically. Interface transit framework. Lily looked up. Interface? Daniel swallowed. I think. He paused. I think we're looking at how the Greys moved between worlds. The archive expanded. A model of reality appeared. Not planets, not stars, layers. Reality resembled an ocean composed of overlapping dimensional strata. Earth occupied only one layer. Adjacent layers existed within the same space, but operated at different resonance states. Aaron felt another architect memory awakening. Lyris standing beside a living display. explaining the structure of existence. Reality was never empty space. It was a medium, a vast interphase ocean containing countless neighboring realms. The memory sharpened. The builders had not traveled through space. They traveled between resonant states. Sideways. Daniel stared in disbelief. So that's how they did it. Did what? Lily asked. Everything. He pointed at the archive. Abductions, missing time, telepathy, lunar transport, consciousness projection. The equations shifted. Dimensional pathways illuminated. Reality layers folded across one another. The prison network had never relied solely upon physical infrastructure. Much of it existed partially outside normal spacetime. The Lunar Relay itself occupied multiple dimensional phases simultaneously. Aaron felt cold spread through him. The prison had been far larger than anyone imagined. The archive continued unfolding. Additional records emerged, builder exploration logs, ancient mission reports, unknown pathway surveys. Most were damaged. Several remained readable. The oldest entry froze Aaron in place. Expedition 771A destination, Deep Strata region. Status: lost. No further explanation existed. Lily looked toward him. What are the deep strata? Aaron remembered only fragments. Dark oceans between dimensions, ancient currents, worlds hidden beneath reality itself, entire ecosystems existing beyond conventional space. He shook his head slowly. I don't know. But he suspected Book 3's future was already waiting inside those words. That night, dreamers worldwide experienced another synchronized vision. Not the corridor, not the bridge, the ocean between. Billions stood upon a shoreline beneath unfamiliar stars. Great currents of light flowed through the darkness. Massive shapes moved beneath the cosmic sea. Not threatening, not hostile, ancient, beautiful. A child later described them as whales swimming through dimensions. Scientists dismissed the report. Lily sketched it immediately. Near midnight, Aaron entered the archive alone. The hidden frequency had grown stronger. He could feel it now. Not as sound, as resonance. The spiral display activated without input. A new message appeared. Welcome back, Architect. Aaron closed his eyes. This time the memory arrived completely. The bridge, the builders, Lyris, thousands of worlds connected through shared experience. Not commerce, not empire, relationship. Then he saw something else. A conversation. One he had forgotten. What lies beyond the third door? He had once asked. Lyris had smiled. The same thing that lies beyond every frontier. What? Her answer echoed through the archive. More questions? The display flickered. Additional text emerged. Warning. Unknown pathways detected. Aaron's pulse quickened. The same phrase appeared repeatedly throughout damaged builder records. Unknown pathways. Unmapped regions. Lost expeditions. Deep strata sectors. Forbidden exploration zones. The builders had discovered something beyond the network. Something they never fully understood. Then a final archive fragment activated. The image quality was poor. The recording ancient. Lyris appeared. Older. More serious than Aaron had ever seen her. If this message survives. Static interrupted. Remember this. The image struggled to stabilize. The witness was not the first explorer. Aaron stopped breathing, the exact phrase recommended by the oldest archive notes. The statement lingered. Impossible. Terrifying, exciting. If the witness wasn't first, then something older existed, something beyond the bridge, beyond the prison, beyond the door system itself. The recording ended. Far beneath Marimbrium, Thren 4 received the same archive release. For the first time in millions of years, the machine beneath the moon allocated resources toward curiosity rather than containment. Observation priorities increased. Suppression priorities declined. The prison itself was changing, learning, questioning, awakening, much like humanity. Elsewhere, Kareth stood before Earth. The old warden watched dreamer synchronization continue accelerating. Millions were remembering. Millions were connecting. Millions were choosing curiosity over fear. The prison had always relied upon isolation. The hidden frequency encouraged connection. Kareth finally understood why the harvest could never last forever. Meaning spread. At 3:33 a.m., every dreamer on Earth heard the same message. Not words, an emotion, wonder. The sensation rolled across humanity like a tide. Children smiled in their sleep. Artists woke inspired. Scientists rushed to record new ideas. The hidden frequency continued growing stronger, not because it was being transmitted, because humanity was beginning to resonate together, and somewhere beyond the known network, beyond the deep strata, beyond the witness, something ancient heard Earth's awakening signal and listened. Chapter 4. The Interphase Archive. The signal arrived at exactly 3:33 a.m., not through the silent archive, not through the internet, not through any known communication system. It appeared simultaneously inside the dreams of millions. A single image, a doorway suspended above a vast cosmic ocean. Beneath it were 4 words. Archive Node 0 found. Aaron Vale awoke instantly. The words still echoed inside his mind. Unlike previous dream messages, this one felt deliberate, directed, as though something beyond the network had intentionally reached toward Earth. His communicator began vibrating. Lily, Daniel, both calling simultaneously. Aaron already knew why. The dream had not belonged to him alone. 2 hours later they gathered inside the recovered archive facility. The room buzzed with activity. Researchers monitored global dream reports. Artificial intelligence systems cross-referenced incoming data. Millions had seen the same vision. Again. The synchronization rate had increased dramatically since the hidden frequency emerged. Daniel projected a holographic map above the conference table. A location pulsed near the northern Atlantic, not in physical space, in dimensional coordinates. The values matched the interphase transit framework discovered in Chapter 3. Lily stared at the display. That's impossible, Daniel nodded. Correct? Aaron folded his arms. What are we looking at? Daniel enlarged the coordinate set. The archive translated automatically. Interphase Archive Node 0, status, precursor origin. The room became silent. Aaron felt his pulse quicken. Precursor. The same designation appeared in damaged builder records associated with the unknown pathways. The archive continued decoding. New information emerged. Reality was not merely layered. It possessed depth. The builder records referred to reality as an interphase medium, an infinite dimensional ocean. Earth occupied only one surface layer. Countless additional strata existed above and below. Some contained civilizations, some contained ecosystems, some contained things the builders refused to classify. Aaron remembered fragments from his architect life. Lyris standing beside a living dimensional map, explaining the deep strata. The memory sharpened. The deeper one traveled into the interphase medium. The stranger reality became. Distance lost meaning. Time became fluid. Entire worlds existed within resonance currents. Daniel activated a second archive file. A 3-dimensional model appeared. Layer upon layer of reality unfolded. Earth occupied Phase 1. Above it existed higher resonance dimensions. Below it stretched increasingly ancient strata. The deepest regions were labeled Deep Current Zones, Architects Unknown. Lily pointed toward the bottom of the display. What does that mean? Nobody answered. Because no translation existed, even the builders appeared uncertain. The archive shifted again. This time visual recordings appeared, ancient exploration footage. Builder vessels traveling sideways through dimensional currents. Reality rippled around them like water. Aaron stared in amazement. The vessels were not flying. They were changing resonance states. The archive translated. Sideways translation. Primary method of interphase travel, Daniel whispered. So that's how the Greys did it. Aaron nodded. Abductions. Missing time. Telepathy. Consciousness transfer. Loosh routing. Everything suddenly fit together. The prison network had existed partially outside conventional space-time. Philocytoturn. Lily studied another archive projection. A glowing sphere floated inside a dimensional containment field. What is that? Daniel enlarged the image. Loosh resonance storage matrix. The room became quiet. Additional information appeared. Loosh was never originally harvested as fuel. The earliest builders treated it as evidence. Evidence that conscious beings had created meaning together. Evidence that relationship existed. The stronger the connection, the stronger the resonance. Aaron remembered the words from the new prologue archives. Loosh was proof that consciousness became something greater through relationship. Philocyturn, philocyturn. The prison had misunderstood everything. Hours passed as researchers continued decoding. Then Lily froze. A new image had appeared. The giant forest beings again? Massive humanoids walking beneath impossible violet trees. But this time they were not alone. Additional figures appeared. Mountain dwellers, ocean leviathans, creatures moving between dimensional layers. The archive classified them differently than expected. Interphase civilizations. Aaron stared. They aren't cryptids. Lily slowly nodded. No. The realization felt enormous. The legends of countless worlds might actually describe neighboring dimensional civilizations, not monsters, neighbors. Near midnight, the archive opened a sealed builder exploration log. Expedition 771A, Deep Strata Entry Report. The room became silent. The same lost expedition from Chapter 3. The first surviving recording appeared. The footage showed an enormous dimensional ocean stretching beyond visibility. Currents of light flowed through darkness. Massive shapes moved beneath the surface. The same beings Lily had sketched. The same whales between dimensions described by dreamers. Then the recording destabilized. A warning appeared. Contact with unknown observers detected. Aaron felt cold spread through him. The explorers were not alone. Something had been watching them. Something older than the witness. The final archive sequence activated. Lyris appeared, not frightened, not panicked, concerned. The expression carried unusual weight. If you are seeing this archive... Static flickered across her image. Then the unknown pathways have begun reopening. Aaron felt every memory inside him react. The bridge, the builders, the prison, the witness. Everything suddenly felt smaller. Lyris continued. The prison was never the greatest danger. Nobody breathed. The prison was a detour. The stars behind her shifted, ancient pathways illuminated. Structures larger than galaxies appeared briefly in the distance, then vanished. Aaron stared. What are those? The recording answered. The architects beyond. The room became completely silent. Even Daniel forgot to take notes. The phrase echoed through the archive. Architects beyond. Older than the witness, older than the bridge, older than the prison. Exactly as the recommendation suggested. The witness had not been the first explorer. Philocytoturn. Now they knew why. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Thren 4 watched the same archive release. His containment models continued failing. Observation metrics continued rising. For the first time in millions of years, curiosity exceeded fear. The machine beneath the moon was learning. Humanity was learning. Perhaps the entire network was learning. Elsewhere, Kareth stood before Earth. The old warden watched billions awaken. The prison had once depended upon isolation. Now meaning moved freely. Connection moved freely. Wonder moved freely. The harvest had no defense against any of them. At exactly 3:33 a.m., every dreamer on Earth experienced one final vision. A shoreline, a cosmic ocean. The third door glowing in the distance. Beyond it stood unfamiliar stars, unfamiliar worlds, and a single symbol. Not the bridge, not the spiral, something older, the symbol from Archive Node 0. Children began drawing it immediately. Scientists began studying it immediately. Aaron simply stared, because deep inside his returning architect memories, he recognized it. Not from the builders, not from the witness. From something older, something waiting beyond the quantum sea. And for the first time, Aaron realized that freedom was only the beginning. Exploration was next. Chapter 5. The Deep Current. The dream arrived at 3:33 a.m. Not to Aaron, not to Lily, to everyone. Millions awoke with the same impossible memory. A vast ocean beneath unfamiliar stars. An ocean that did not contain water. An ocean made of realities, layers, currents, dimensions, worlds, and something enormous moving beneath them all. Aaron sat upright in bed, breathing hard. The dream lingered with unusual clarity. Most visions faded. This one remained. He could still feel the motion of the currents, still hear the distant resonance moving through the darkness. His communicator activated. Lily. Before he could answer, another call arrived. Daniel. A third followed seconds later. Kareth. That had never happened before. Aaron answered immediately. What did you see? Lily asked. The ocean. Silence. Then Daniel spoke. The same ocean? Kareth's voice remained unusually subdued. The deep current. Nobody spoke for several seconds, because the old warden sounded afraid. 3 hours later, they gathered inside the silent archive. Researchers rushed between workstations. Every display showed identical reports. Dream synchronization exceeded 90%, the highest level ever recorded. Daniel projected a rotating model above the conference table. Not a star map, a dimensional map. The same structure recently recovered from Archive Node 0. Reality appeared as stacked layers suspended within a larger medium. The builders had described existence as an interphase medium, a multi-layered ocean of phase states occupying the same space at different resonant frequencies. Feel a sight to turn. Aaron stared at the display. It looks alive, Daniel nodded. According to the archive, it might be. Additional records unlocked automatically. The silent archive seemed increasingly willing to reveal information. Layer after layer appeared. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. Deeper strata, lower strata. Regions beyond builder exploration. Daniel enlarged the lowest levels. The translation struggled. Finally, one phrase stabilized. Deep current zones. Exploration not recommended. Lily folded her arms. That sounds encouraging. Nobody laughed. A new recording activated. Ancient builder exploration footage. The chamber darkened. An enormous vessel drifted through shimmering dimensional currents, not traveling through space. Traveling sideways, reality bent around the ship. The archive labeled the process. Sideways translation. Primary interphase transit method. Aaron finally understood. UFO disappearances. Grey abductions. Missing time. Telepathic contact. Loosh transport. Reincarnation routing. The Lunar Relay itself. All depended upon movement between dimensional layers rather than movement through ordinary space. The prison network had operated partially outside conventional spacetime by shifting through adjacent phase states. Phylocyte turn. Humanity had mistaken the symptoms for magic. The archive continued. Reality tore open before the builder vessel, not violently, gracefully, like a membrane separating two oceans. The ship slipped through. Stars vanished. Something stranger appeared. A city. An entire civilization existing within an adjacent phase layer. The same coordinates, different reality. Lily stared in amazement. They were right beside us. Daniel nodded. Maybe they still are. The next sequence shocked everyone. Massive structures stretched through multiple dimensions simultaneously. Buildings larger on the inside than the outside. Pathways that ignored geometry. Entire ecosystems suspended between realities. The archive classified them. Interphase civilizations. Aaron remembered Lily's drawings. The impossible forests. The mountain beings. The giant ocean creatures. For the first time, those images felt less like symbolism and more like memory. Then the archive revealed the deep current. The room fell silent. An endless dimensional ocean extended beyond visibility. Currents of light moved through darkness. Entire worlds drifted within resonance streams. And beneath those currents, something moved, massive, ancient, alive. Lily felt chills. The shape resembled no known life form, not mechanical, not biological, something older. The archive translation appeared. Deep current Leviathan. Status non-hostile. Builder notes followed. Do not interfere, do not pursue, do not follow. Aaron swallowed. What happens if someone does? The archive responded instantly. No returning expeditions recorded. Daniel activated another file. This one contained biological reports. Hair samples. Footprints. Resonance signatures. Environmental anomalies. Locations included Himalayan fault zones, remote forests, dimensional fracture regions. Lily immediately recognized the pattern. Sasquatch. Nobody laughed. Yeti, Daniel added. The archive did not classify them as cryptids. Instead, it used a different designation, interphase adapted intelligence, transient phase travel capable. Aaron exchanged a glance with Lily. The drawings had been warning them for months. Hours passed. Then another sealed archive opened. Expedition 771A, the same lost builder mission. The footage began normally. Exploration vessel. Deep current survey. Dimensional mapping. Then, the recording changed. The explorers detected something, not a Leviathan, not an ecosystem. Observers. The screen filled with static. Builder voices became frightened. A warning appeared. Contact with architects beyond probable. The room became completely silent. Lyris appeared moments later. Not live. A preserved message. Her expression carried unusual gravity. If this archive has opened. She paused. Then humanity has progressed faster than we predicted. Aaron felt every returning memory react. The architect, the bridge, the builders, the witness, all suddenly felt smaller. Lyris continued. The deep current is not the foundation of reality. Stars shifted behind her. Ancient pathways illuminated. The deep current is a shoreline. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. because the implication felt enormous. A shoreline implied an ocean. Lyris looked directly toward the viewer. The witness was not the first explorer. The room froze. Exactly the phrase preserved in the oldest warnings. Felicite turn. No explanation followed. Only silence. Only possibility. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Thren 4 watched the same archive release. His containment models continued collapsing. But that no longer concerned him most. The machine beneath the moon had begun requesting access to forbidden builder archives. The machine was becoming curious. The realization unsettled him, and strangely inspired him. Elsewhere, Kareth stood before Earth. The old warden watched billions awaken. For centuries, the prison depended upon isolation. Now humanity was learning something dangerous. The universe was larger than the prison, larger than the witness, larger than the wardens, larger than fear. That night, dreamers across Earth shared another vision. A shoreline beneath impossible stars, a giant figure standing within an endless forest, a mountain corridor glowing beneath snow, a vast creature swimming through dimensional currents, and beyond them all, a symbol, older than the bridge, older than the doors, older than the witness. Children began drawing it immediately. Scientists began studying it immediately. Aaron simply stared, because somewhere deep within his architect memories, he knew he had seen it before. Not at the beginning. Beyond the beginning. And for the first time he realized the prison had hidden more than freedom. It had hidden the frontier itself. Chapter 6. The Deep Strata. The dreams changed again. This time there was no shoreline, no corridor, no bridge, only descent. Millions of people dreamed they were traveling downward through layers of reality. Past stars, past dimensions, past worlds. Deeper, always deeper, towards something hidden beneath existence itself. Aaron woke before dawn. His communicator was already flashing. Lily, Daniel, Kareth, Thren 4, every message carried the same subject line, deep strata references detected. Aaron felt a chill. The phrase had appeared inside the Builder archives before, always accompanied by warnings, always accompanied by missing records. Hours later, the silent archive revealed another sealed section. The chamber lights dimmed. Ancient Builder symbols flowed across the walls. Daniel watched the translation engine struggle. Finally, the archive stabilized. Deep strata exploration logs. Classification restricted. Lily folded her arms. Restricted by whom? The archive responded. Original builders. Nobody liked that answer. The first recording appeared. A builder exploration vessel drifted through the interface medium. Reality shimmered around it like an endless ocean of overlapping dimensions. The explorers had already traveled beyond the known phase layers. Beyond Phase 1. Beyond Phase 2. Beyond every mapped region. They were entering deeper resonance states where reality itself behaved differently. The builders described reality as stacked dimensional layers occupying the same space at different resonance states, connected through the larger interphase medium. Felicite turn. Aaron felt an uneasy familiarity. This wasn't exploration, it felt like archaeology. The recording continued. The explorers deployed phase anchors and resonance beacons to prevent drift into unstable dimensional currents. Navigation beyond the mapped layers required constant phase alignment and dimensional anchoring. Felicite turn. Daniel paused the recording. That's exactly how sideways translation works. He enlarged the data. The deep strata were not locations. They were resonance depths, lower energy dimensional layers hidden beneath ordinary reality, layers so difficult to access that most civilizations never discovered them. A new image appeared, an entire city. Not built on a planet, built inside folded dimensional geometry. Buildings stretched through multiple phase states simultaneously. Roads curved through impossible angles. The city seemed larger on the inside than the outside. Lily stared. That's one of my drawings. Nobody disagreed. Then the archive revealed its most disturbing discovery. The city was abandoned. Not destroyed. Abandoned. The translation appeared, Deep City 44. Population status, relocated. Destination, unknown. Aaron frowned. Relocated where? The archive remained silent. Another log opened. Builder Expedition 881C. The explorers followed ancient signals originating below the mapped phase layers. What they found stunned everyone. Not ruins. Not technology. Civilizations. Entire civilizations had evolved within adjacent dimensional layers, occupying the same coordinates as other worlds while remaining invisible to them. Some existed in lower energy strata, while others occupied higher resonance states. Philocyter turn. The realization hit Aaron immediately. We were never alone. Daniel nodded. Not even on Earth. The archive displayed biological surveys. Forest anomalies, mountain anomalies, unexplained resonance signatures. The same locations Lily had been drawing for months. The same locations appearing in Dreamer reports. The archive designation appeared. Interphase adapted intelligence. Mountain beings. Forest beings. Transient phase travelers. Not myths. Not hallucinations. Residents of neighboring layers of reality. The cryptid legends of Earth suddenly looked very different. Philocyter turn. Far beneath Marimbrium, Thren 4 watched the same discoveries. The former Grey administrator felt growing unease. The prison network had monitored Earth for millions of years. Yet these records suggested entire dimensional ecosystems existed beyond Warden observation. Entire populations, entire histories, entire civilizations, hidden in plain sight. Then a new file opened. Deep current contact event. Every person in the chamber became silent. The footage showed a builder vessel drifting through an immense dimensional current. Ahead lay something vast, larger than cities, larger than worlds. A living shape moving through the deep strata, the same creature seen in the dream. The same creature Lily had drawn. The archive identified it. Deep current Leviathan, non-hostile. Do not follow. The warning appeared again. Aaron remembered the earlier file. No expedition that pursued the Leviathans had ever returned. The next archive unlocked automatically. That frightened Daniel more than anything else. The archive wasn't responding to commands anymore. It was choosing what humanity should see. A preserved message appeared. Lyris. Her expression was serious. If this recording has opened, then Earth has reached the threshold. Aaron felt his pulse quicken. The deep strata are not dangerous because of what lives there. She paused. They are dangerous because of what they reveal. Behind her appeared a map. The prison, the bridge, the witness, the deep current, all suddenly looked small. Lyris highlighted a region beyond them, unmapped, unlabeled, ancient. The builders believed the deep strata represented the foundation of reality. The stars shifted. They were wrong. Nobody breathed, because everyone already knew what came next. The same pattern again, another larger mystery, another deeper layer, another horizon. Lyris looked directly toward the viewer. The deep strata are not the bottom. Silence. They are a doorway. That night, dreamers around the world shared another vision, a forest larger than continents. Mountains stretching through dimensions, leviathans swimming through currents of reality, cities hidden beside Earth, and beyond them all, a spiral symbol glowing above an endless sea of stars. Children began drawing it immediately. Scientists began studying it immediately. Aaron simply stared. Because deep inside his returning memories he recognized the feeling, not fear, not danger, invitation. The prison had ended. The frontier had begun. Chapter 7. Sideways Echoes. The first response from beyond the prison network should have brought relief. Instead, it brought questions. Too many questions. Aaron stood inside the silent archive central chamber while impossible diagrams rotated above him. The newly awakened survivor civilizations had begun sharing fragments of knowledge, pieces of a larger framework that seemed to connect everything. The harvest, the bridge, the witness, the dreamers, the corridors, the missing time reports, the abductions, the moon, all of it connected. Daniel enlarged one of the rotating models. Reality unfolded like layers of transparent glass suspended inside a vast ocean. "That's not space," he said quietly. "No," Aaron replied. "It isn't." Lily felt a chill, because she had drawn this exact image months before, long before she understood what it meant. The transmission originated from a survivor archive older than the Lunar Relay itself. The title appeared in silver builder script. Interphase Medium Overview, authorized for awakening civilizations. The chamber fell silent. Aaron felt memories stirring. Architect memories, builder memories, fragments that had waited millions of years to return. The archive activated. Reality is not empty space. The words appeared across the chamber. Reality is a multi-layered medium. The image expanded. Earth appeared first, then another Earth, then another, then thousands, each occupying the same location, yet separated by resonance. The Survivor archive explained that dimensional layers occupied identical coordinates while existing at different quantum resonance states. Entire civilizations could coexist within the same space without ever interacting. Philocytern. Daniel slowly sat down. That's impossible. The archive ignored him. The visualization deepened. Reality resembled an ocean. Humanity lived near the surface. Other civilizations occupied deeper strata, higher strata, adjacent strata, countless layers invisible to one another. The prison had exploited those layers. The bridge had connected them. The realization hit Aaron immediately. The corridors. Lily looked toward him. The dream corridors. Aaron nodded. They weren't symbolic. The memory surfaced. Grey craft disappearing, reappearing, humans experiencing missing time, entire abduction encounters that ignored ordinary physics. The answer had always been the same. They were never moving through space. They were moving sideways. The archive designated the process, sideways translation, a controlled transition between neighboring dimensional resonance states. Objects shifted phase alignment, entered adjacent layers, traveled through alternative geometry, then re-emerged elsewhere. Philocytern. Daniel stared at the equations. That's how they moved ships. Aaron nodded. That's how they moved people. That's how they hid entire facilities. The implications became endless. Lily opened her sketchbook. Pages filled with drawings she never understood. Mountains hiding impossible forests. Cities existing beside cities. Ocean creatures larger than continents. Forest giants watching from beyond perception. Now the images suddenly made sense. The archive identified them. Interphase adapted intelligences. Not myths, not folklore, not hallucinations. Neighboring civilizations occasionally bleeding through dimensional boundaries. Many cryptid reports originated near resonance faults where dimensional layers approached one another. Philocytern. Lily felt her pulse quicken. I've been drawing them for months. Far beneath Mare Imbrium, Thren 4 reviewed the same records. The former Grey administrator experienced something dangerously close to embarrassment. Humanity had spent centuries trying to explain missing time, abductions, telepathy, UFO appearances. The Grey administration had always known the answer, yet they had never shared it. Not because it was dangerous, because knowledge created freedom, and freedom weakened control. Back inside the archive, another section opened. Loosh transfer networks. Daniel frowned. Aaron immediately became interested. The display showed streams of emotional resonance flowing through dimensional infrastructure. The prison had never transported Loosh conventionally. The energy decayed too quickly. Instead, it was shifted through adjacent resonance layers where transfer losses became negligible. Loosh behaved differently across dimensional states, allowing efficient transport through the relay network. Reincarnation routing and harvest infrastructure relied upon these corridors. Philocytern. The room became silent, because another mystery had just been solved. The archive continued. Human consciousness naturally interacted with neighboring layers of reality. Dreams, intuition, telepathy, remote perception, near-death experiences, all represented partial interaction with adjacent dimensional states. The prison did not create the phenomenon, it merely exploited it. Aaron remembered Lyris. A conversation from long before Earth. You cannot separate consciousness from the larger medium, she had once said. At the time he hadn't understood. Now he finally did. That night the dreamers shared another vision. Not a corridor, a shoreline, the cosmic ocean, but this time the water appeared transparent. Beneath the surface stretched countless dimensional layers, civilizations, cities, creatures, pathways, entire ecosystems hidden beneath ordinary reality. Humanity had escaped the prison. Now it was beginning to see the universe. Aaron stood beside Lyris within the dream. The shoreline glowed beneath unfamiliar stars. The prison wasn't the whole story. No, Lyris said softly, it never was. She gestured toward the endless sea. The harvesters believed reality ended at the walls they built. The ocean brightened. They were wrong. Aaron watched impossible shapes move beneath the dimensional depths. Leviathans, cities, living currents, pathways leading far beyond the known network. The same deep strata references appearing throughout newly unlocked archives. Phylocyte a turn. Lyris. She turned toward him. What lies beneath all of it? For the first time, genuine uncertainty crossed her face. Not fear, wonder. The builders spent millions of years trying to answer that question. Aaron followed her gaze. The stars seemed smaller now. The universe larger. The mystery deeper. Before the dream dissolved, Lyris spoke one final sentence. A sentence Aaron somehow knew would matter later. The witness was not the first explorer. Then she vanished. Aaron awoke at exactly 3:33 a.m. Archive alarms were already sounding. New records, new transmissions. New deep strata references. The silent archive had unlocked another sealed section. The title appeared across every display. Forbidden exploration sectors. Status. Restricted by original builders. Aaron stared at the words. The prison was over. The awakening had begun, and somewhere beyond the known dimensional layers, humanity had just discovered that the frontier was vastly larger than anyone imagined. Chapter 8. The Third Door. The warning spread across Earth before sunrise. Not through governments. Not through media networks. Through dreams. Millions awoke carrying the same image. 3 doors standing upon the shoreline of the quantum sea. The first door glowed silver. The second door shimmered with living starlight. The third door remained dark. Waiting. Aaron Vale stood inside the silent archive staring at the newest transmission. Forbidden exploration sectors. Third door access protocols detected. Daniel read the message twice. Then a third time. Tell me this doesn't mean what I think it means. Aaron didn't answer, because he already knew. The third door was real. Not metaphor, not mythology. A destination. Lily felt the change first. The atmosphere inside the archive had shifted. For months they had been uncovering the prison. Then the harvest. Then the bridge. Then the interphase medium. Now something entirely different waited beyond those revelations. Possibility, exploration, wonder, and danger. The kind of danger that came from stepping into the unknown. A new archive opened automatically. Ancient builder symbols illuminated the chamber. The recording began. Lyris appeared. Older than any previous recording. Her expression carried equal parts excitement and concern. If this archive has opened. She paused. Then humanity has reached the same threshold we once reached. Stars rotated behind her. Entire dimensional layers unfolded. The deep strata. The interphase civilizations. The quantum sea. All appeared as part of a larger map. The first door revealed freedom. The image shifted. The second door revealed connection. The map expanded. Then a third region appeared. Unmapped, unknown, infinite. The third door reveals possibility. The room fell silent, because nobody knew what possibility meant on a cosmic scale. Daniel enlarged the map. Thousands of pathways extended beyond builder territory. Most contained no data, no surveys, no exploration records, no return signals. The builders had mapped less than 1% of what existed beyond the third door. Aaron stared at the display. The witness explored these regions. The archive responded immediately. Partially. The answer somehow raised even more questions. Later that afternoon, dreamer synchronization surged to its highest level yet. Children drew enormous starships sailing across dimensional oceans. Artists painted living cities suspended between realities. Scientists began producing mathematical models describing pathways extending beyond known dimensional geometry. The awakening continued accelerating. Humanity wasn't merely remembering anymore. It was imagining, and the archive seemed to approve. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Threnfor reviewed the emerging data. The former Grey administrator experienced something he had not felt in millions of years. Hope. The prison had always focused on containment, control, optimization. The third door represented the opposite. Exploration, discovery, growth. The realization transformed him. That night Aaron entered the dream corridor again, only this time it was different. The corridor no longer contained endless closed doors. Most now stood open. Light poured from every direction. Lyris waited beside the final doorway. The third door. It towered above the others, constructed from living starlight and impossible geometry. Aaron approached slowly. "What happens if we open it?" Lyris smiled. The same patient smile he remembered from long before Earth. "The same thing that happens whenever consciousness chooses curiosity over fear." The door began glowing. "What?" She looked toward the horizon. "Everything changes." The door opened. Aaron expected revelation. Instead, he felt wonder. Beyond the threshold stretched an endless ocean of stars. Not empty space, possibility itself. Civilizations, worlds, questions, mysteries, friendships, adventures, an infinite frontier. The prison suddenly seemed very small. Then he saw something unexpected, other lights, far beyond the known network, other explorers, not builders, not witnesses, not wardens, travelers, searching, learning, growing. The universe was already awake. Humanity was simply joining the journey. Before the dream ended, Aaron noticed a figure standing far beyond the horizon. Impossible to identify, ancient, patient, watching, not with hostility, with curiosity, the same curiosity that had followed humanity's awakening since the beginning. The figure raised a hand, then vanished. Aaron awoke at exactly 3:33 a.m. The silent archive was already transmitting. A final message appeared across every display. Third door status, opening. The room fell silent. The prison story was ending. The exploration story was beginning. And somewhere beyond the quantum sea, the next chapter of humanity's journey was already waiting. Chapter 9. The Interphase Shore. The dreams began changing again. Not just for the dreamers. For everyone. Children, scientists, former wardens, survivor civilizations. Across Earth and across the restored network, billions found themselves standing upon the same shoreline beneath unfamiliar stars. The ocean before them was not water. It was light, a living sea of shifting dimensional currents stretching beyond the edge of imagination. And for the first time, the dreamers could see what existed beyond the waves. Not worlds. Pathways. Aaron awoke at 3:33 a.m. The silent archive was already active. Every display in the command center glowed with new data. Daniel stood frozen before the central projection. "You need to see this." Aaron approached. The star map had changed. Again. Only this time the change was impossible. The map no longer showed stars connected through space. It showed layers. Reality itself appeared stacked, like an ocean composed of invisible depths, layer beneath layer, dimension beneath dimension. Lily entered moments later carrying a sketchbook. She stopped immediately, because she had already drawn it. "That's the place from the dreams," she whispered. Aaron looked at her sketches. Massive dimensional currents flowed between layered realities. Entire cities floated between worlds. Bridges crossed impossible distances, and hidden deep within the lower layers, something enormous moved. Daniel noticed the final drawing. "What is that?" Lily swallowed. "I don't know." The answer unsettled everyone, because she had drawn it dozens of times. A vast shape moving beneath reality itself, like a whale beneath a frozen sea. The archive suddenly activated. A familiar image appeared. Lyris, older, calmer, and somehow more serious than any previous recording. "If this archive has opened," she said softly, "then humanity is approaching the interphase shore." The room fell silent. The phrase felt important, ancient, dangerous, beautiful. "The universe you see is only one layer of reality." The projection expanded. Additional dimensions appeared. Countless phase layers occupied the same space. Some brighter, some darker, some so strange the human mind struggled to interpret them. The builders called the space between layers the quantum sea. Aaron felt a chill. The phrase resonated deep inside his returning memories. The quantum sea. Lyris continued. "Travel between stars was never the greatest discovery." The layered map rotated. Pathways extended sideways through reality itself. The greatest discovery was learning how to travel between possibilities. Daniel stared. Sideways translation. The archive confirmed the term. The same technology responsible for missing time, grey abductions, reptilian transit, Loosh transport, telepathic communication, consciousness projection, reincarnation routing, everything. The prison had operated partially outside normal space-time. Aaron suddenly remembered. Not fragments, not impressions, A complete memory. He stood beside Lyris millions of years earlier. Both watched a vessel disappear, not through space. Sideways. The ship phased between dimensional layers and vanished. Distance is an illusion, Lyris had told him. Relationship matters more than location. The memory faded, leaving Aaron breathless. Far beneath Mare Imbrium, Thrin 4 reviewed the same archive. Ancient grey records unlocked automatically. For the first time he saw how the prison truly worked. The Lunar Relay did not route souls through physical space. It routed consciousness through dimensional corridors. Loosh itself behaved differently across phase layers. Fear generated resonance. Love generated stronger resonance. Meaning generated the strongest resonance of all. The harvesters had measured output. The builders had measured connection. And that mistake had changed history. Across Earth, dreamers began reporting new images. Not prisons, not corridors, forests, impossible forests, mountain valleys, giant humanoid silhouettes standing among trees. Massive ocean creatures moving beneath dimensional currents, living ecosystems hidden between realities. Lily collected thousands of reports. Every continent described similar visions. A child in Taiwan drew a towering forest guardian. An artist in Argentina painted a mountain giant beneath starlight. A boy in Ohio sketched a creature swimming beneath layered dimensions. The same images appeared again, and again, and again. Daniel enlarged the reports. You think these are memories? Lily looked uncertain. No. What then? She turned toward the layered map. I think they're places. Nobody spoke, because somehow that possibility felt more believable. That night the shoreline dream returned. Aaron stood beside Lily upon the edge of the quantum sea. The waves shimmered with entire realities. The witness watched from the horizon, not threatening, curious, learning. Then Lyris appeared. For once she looked excited, not concerned, not cautious, excited. You've reached the edge. Aaron looked across the endless dimensional ocean. Of what? Lyris smiled. The known. The sea brightened. Far beyond the visible pathways, additional lights appeared. Unmapped regions, unknown civilizations. Forbidden exploration sectors. Builder records ended there. Even the witness seemed unable to see farther. Aaron frowned. You explored those regions. Lyris hesitated. Some did, and the smile faded slightly. Many never returned. The ocean darkened. A new image appeared beneath the waves. A spiral, older than the bridge, older than the prison, older than the witness. Aaron felt every architect memory react instantly. Lyris followed his gaze. The witness was not the first explorer. The words echoed through the dream, exactly as she had once spoken them. No explanation followed. None was needed. The mystery felt enormous. The shoreline began dissolving. Before she vanished, Lyris offered one final warning. The survivors are not the end of the story. Aaron waited. The third door does not lead to freedom. The sea brightened. It leads to exploration. Aaron awoke to alarms. The silent archive had detected new activity, not from the survivor civilizations, not from the witness, from beyond mapped regions of the network. A single transmission appeared. Forbidden exploration sector detected. Then another. Deep strata reference found. The room fell silent. Daniel slowly looked toward Aaron. Lily looked toward the layered map. No one needed to say it. Now it stood at the shoreline of something far larger. The third door was waiting, and beyond it stretched the quantum sea. Chapter 10. The Signal Beyond the Sea. The transmission arrived 73 seconds after the deep strata alert. No known language, no recognizable mathematics, no carrier wave. Yet every dreamer on Earth understood it, not intellectually, emotionally. The message carried a feeling, invitation. Aaron Vale stood motionless inside the silent archive. Every display in the chamber glowed with the same impossible signal. Daniel had already exhausted 3 separate translation systems. None worked. The transmission wasn't data, it was resonance, meaning encoded directly into consciousness. Lily stared at the waveform. It's alive? Daniel looked up. What? The signal. She pointed toward the projection. It's changing because we're observing it. The room fell silent, because she was right. The pattern continuously adapted to whoever examined it. Scientists saw equations, artists saw symbols, children saw doorways, dreamers saw oceans. The silent archive activated. A builder warning emerged. Unknown extra-dimensional contact event. Classification, first response protocol. Aaron felt a chill. First response. The phrase implied something profound. Humanity wasn't discovering ruins. Humanity wasn't uncovering history. Humanity was receiving an answer. Across Earth, millions reported identical dreams, a shoreline beneath impossible stars, the quantum sea stretching endlessly into darkness, and beyond the waves, lights, thousands of them, not stars, vessels, cities, civilizations, entire networks of consciousness moving through the dimensional ocean. The prison had hidden more than Earth's history. It had hidden humanity's neighbors. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Thren 4 reviewed the signal. Ancient grey archives unlocked automatically. For the first time, he discovered records deliberately hidden from Warden leadership. Not because they were dangerous, because they inspired curiosity. The prison had feared curiosity more than rebellion. A single line appeared in the recovered archive. Curiosity precedes escape. Thren 4 read the sentence 3 times, then smiled. The transmission strengthened. The archive began reconstructing fragments. Images appeared, not recordings, interpretations. Massive living vessels drifting through dimensional currents. Cities built within folded realities. Forests larger than continents. Mountain civilizations existing between phase layers. The same places Lily had been drawing since Chapter 1. Not memories, not dreams, destinations. Aaron suddenly remembered another architect memory. Lyris standing beside the edge of the quantum sea. Not the shoreline from recent dreams. A real place, ancient, beautiful, alive with dimensional currents. Most civilizations think freedom is the destination, Lyris had said. Aaron remembered asking, "And it isn't?" She smiled. "Freedom is the beginning." The memory faded, leaving certainty behind. Later that evening, the witness appeared. Not physically. Through the dream. For the first time, it spoke directly. Its voice sounded neither male nor female, neither old nor young, merely ancient. "You have reached the horizon." Aaron stood upon the interphase shore. The quantum sea shimmered beneath unfamiliar constellations. The witness watched the distant lights. "We believed the prison was the problem." Aaron nodded. "It was. Yes." The witness seemed amused. "But only one problem." The sea brightened. Additional pathways appeared. Thousands, millions, extending beyond builder territory, beyond witness territory, beyond everything known. Aaron stared. "Who built those?" For several seconds, the witness remained silent. Then, "We do not know." The answer stunned him. The witness didn't know. Back in the physical world, Daniel completed a partial translation. The signal finally produced readable output. Not words. Concepts. The first translated sequence appeared across every screen. "We heard you. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed." A second sequence emerged. "You are not alone." Lily felt tears forming unexpectedly, not from fear, relief. For generations humanity had asked the same question. Were they alone? The answer had finally arrived. No. Then the signal expanded. Additional meanings emerged. Not invasion, not conquest, not warning. Introduction. The transmission resembled the opening sentence of a conversation, a greeting sent across impossible distances, or perhaps across impossible dimensions. Near midnight, another builder archive opened. This one contained Lyris. Her expression carried unmistakable excitement. "If you are receiving signals beyond the quantum sea," she said, "then you have progressed farther than we hoped." Stars rotated behind her. Ancient pathways illuminated. The builders spent millions of years searching for the source of consciousness. Aaron felt every architect memory react. Lyris continued. "We never found it." The room became silent, because after everything they had discovered, the greatest mystery remained unsolved. Then Lyris smiled, a genuine smile. "The good news is that neither did anyone else." Daniel laughed unexpectedly. The tension broke. Even Lily smiled. Lyris pointed toward the endless map beyond known space. "The frontier is still there." Pathways brightened. Civilizations appeared. Unknown regions unfolded. The questions remain. More lights appeared, more possibilities, more mysteries. And that's what makes the universe beautiful. The recording ended. The signal remained. The distant lights remained. The invitation remained. At 3:33 a.m., dreamers across Earth shared one final vision. The shoreline, the quantum sea, the third door standing open behind them, no longer a destination, a starting point. Ahead waited the frontier. Beyond the frontier waited questions. Beyond the questions waited wonder. And somewhere far across the dimensional ocean, something ancient listened to humanity's first reply. The conversation had begun. The harvest was over. The exploration age had arrived. Chapter 11. The Conversation. The reply took exactly 11 minutes. Humanity sent a signal. The unknown answered. And for the first time in recorded history, Earth entered a conversation larger than itself. The transmission originated from everywhere. Not a location, not a star, not a civilization. The signal emerged simultaneously across every active archive node, dream corridor, and dimensional resonance network. Daniel stared at the data. "That's impossible!" Aaron no longer bothered arguing with impossible. The universe had moved beyond that category weeks ago. The message arrived differently for every observer. Scientists received equations. Musicians heard harmonies. Children saw stories. Dreamers experienced memories that were not their own. Yet every version communicated the same idea. Welcome, not conquest, not judgment, not ownership. Welcome. Lily felt tears forming again. Humanity had spent centuries fearing what waited beyond the stars. The answer felt strangely familiar. "Why does it feel like we've met them before?" Lily asked. Nobody answered immediately, because everyone felt it. The signal carried recognition. Not introduction, recognition. As though consciousness itself remembered something long forgotten. The silent archive responded automatically. Ancient builder systems awakened. Dormant memory pathways illuminated. New records began surfacing. The title of the first archive stunned everyone. Pre-bridge contact events. Aaron felt his pulse quicken. Pre-bridge. Before the builders. Before the prison. Before the harvest. The recording activated. Stars appeared. Ancient stars. A civilization older than the builders. Older than anything humanity had previously encountered. The archive struggled to translate. Finally, a phrase stabilized. The listeners. The room became silent. The recording showed no cities, no technology, no fleets, only consciousness. Entire civilizations dedicated to listening, observing, learning, connecting. Lyris appeared in the recording, not as Aaron remembered her. Much younger, curious, hopeful. The listeners taught us something important. Stars rotated behind her. They taught us that consciousness grows through relationship. The phrase echoed throughout the chamber. Aaron immediately recognized it. The original purpose of Loosh, not fuel, evidence, connection, meaning shared between minds. Phyla cite a turn. The archive expanded. The builders had not invented the philosophy. They inherited it, just as humanity now inherited it from them, generation after generation, civilization after civilization. The same lesson continued spreading. Connection mattered. Meaning mattered. Choice mattered. Far beneath Mara Imbrium, Thren 4 reviewed the same archive. The realization struck him harder than expected. The prison was never inevitable. Someone had chosen it. Someone had chosen ownership over connection, control over curiosity, extraction over relationship. The prison was not destiny. It was a mistake, and mistakes could be corrected. Meanwhile, the incoming transmission continued evolving. The signal adapted to Earth's growing understanding. New concepts emerged, not words, experiences, visions, entire ecosystems hidden within the interphase medium. Forests stretching through dimensional layers. Mountain civilizations hidden behind resonance barriers. Ocean leviathans migrating through deep current pathways. The same locations Lily had drawn since the beginning. Aaron entered the dream that evening. The shoreline returned. The quantum sea shimmered beneath unfamiliar constellations. This time he was not alone. Lily stood beside him. Daniel appeared moments later. Even Kareth arrived. The dream was becoming shared space, a meeting place, a dimensional commons. Across the water stood the witness, watching, learning. For the first time it looked uncertain. Aaron approached. "You don't know who sent the signal?" The witness shook its head. "No." The answer surprised him. "You've observed civilizations for billions of years." "Yes. And you've never seen this before." The witness looked toward the horizon. "I have seen fragments." Aaron waited. The ancient observer finally answered. "But never the source." The sea brightened. New pathways emerged. Not builder pathways, not witness pathways. Something older, something deeper. They extended beyond the quantum sea itself, beyond known dimensional architecture, beyond mapped reality. Aaron stared. The witness followed his gaze. We called them the listening roads. The phrase echoed through the dream. Listening roads. Ancient pathways connecting consciousness rather than locations. Back in the physical world, Daniel completed another partial translation. The next sequence appeared across every screen. We remember you. Nobody moved. The statement felt impossible. Aaron frowned. How could they remember us? Lily shook her head. Maybe we're asking the wrong question. The signal continued. We remember all of you. The room became completely silent. Not humanity, consciousness. The implication felt enormous. Hours later, another archive unlocked. A final builder warning. The title appeared across every display. Third door threshold report. Lyris emerged once again, older, wiser, yet visibly excited. If Earth has reached this archive, then the transition has begun. Stars rotated behind her. The quantum sea unfolded. Listening roads illuminated. Unknown civilizations appeared. The third door is not a location. Aaron felt every architect memory react. It is a choice. Lyris smiled. The same smile she always carried when speaking about discovery. The prison asked whether consciousness could be controlled. The stars dimmed. The third door asks whether consciousness can grow forever. The recording ended. Nobody spoke. Nobody needed to, because everyone understood the implication. It was becoming about exploration, growth, wonder, possibility. At exactly 3:33 a.m., dreamers across Earth shared another vision. The quantum sea, the interphase shore, the listening roads stretching toward impossible horizons. And beyond them all, a distant light, not approaching, waiting, patient, curious, welcoming, the same way the universe had always been. Humanity was finally beginning to notice, and somewhere beyond the third door, the frontier waited. Chapter 12. The Listening Roads. The answer from beyond the network changed everything, not because it explained the mystery, because it expanded it. Humanity had spent generations searching for the edge of reality. Now reality appeared to have no edge at all. Only deeper layers, deeper questions, and deeper horizons. The silent archive remained active for 72 continuous hours. New transmissions flowed through every recovered relay. Dreamers reported shared visions. Survivor civilizations exchanged data. Former wardens opened archives that had remained sealed for millions of years. The deeper humanity looked, the larger the universe became. Aaron stood inside the archive's central chamber watching dimensional maps unfold across the air. They no longer resembled star charts. They resembled oceans, currents, tides, depth layers. The image reminded him of something Lily had drawn months earlier. Before she understood what she was seeing, before anyone did, Daniel enlarged the projection. What you're looking at isn't space. Aaron frowned. Then what is it? Daniel highlighted several overlapping structures. According to the builder records, physical space is only one layer. The room became silent. Lily already knew where this was going, because she had been drawing it for months. Reality consisted of strata, layers occupying the same location while existing at different resonance states. Entire dimensional ecosystems existed beside ordinary space. Invisible, adjacent, connected. The builders called the structure the interphase medium, a multidimensional ocean through which civilizations traveled, communicated, and sometimes disappeared. Aaron stared at the projection. Missing time, abductions, telepathy, remote viewing, dream communication, sideways translation. For the first time, all of it fit together. Not magic, not supernatural, different physics. A new archive opened. Lyris appeared immediately, older, wiser, yet smiling. Most civilizations believe they live inside space. The dimensional ocean unfolded behind her. They do not. The projection expanded. Countless phase layers appeared. Worlds existing beside worlds. Civilizations occupying identical coordinates while remaining unaware of one another. The scale was staggering. Phylocyte to turn. Lily felt recognition rather than surprise, because many of her recent drawings already contained impossible forests. Mountain kingdoms. Oceanic creatures larger than continents. Living dimensional ecosystems. Places she had never visited. Places she somehow remembered. The archive continued. The Greys never traveled faster than light. Aaron exchanged a glance with Daniel. Lyris nodded toward the dimensional maps. They traveled sideways. Sideways translation. The phrase appeared throughout the chamber. To move between stars, civilizations shifted into adjacent phase layers where distance behaved differently. Not through space. Between states of reality. Phyla turn. Daniel laughed softly. The universe just became infinitely more complicated. Aaron smiled. At least you're happy about it. I absolutely am. The archive revealed more. Reptilian transport systems, grey transit corridors, Loosh transfer networks, soul routing architecture. Even the Lunar Relay operated partially within neighboring dimensions rather than conventional spacetime. For centuries, humanity had observed effects. Now it was finally seeing the machinery behind them. Far beneath Mariam Briam, Thren 4 reviewed the same records. The revelation unsettled him. The prison had never truly controlled consciousness. It merely redirected traffic, like a dam placed across a river. The water always existed. The current always existed. The prison simply manipulated flow. Elsewhere, Kareth watched dimensional navigation logs from ancient builder expeditions. Many never returned. Entire exploration fleets vanished within unmapped regions. The records referred repeatedly to deep strata, listening roads, forbidden depths, unknown pathways. The old warden felt something he had not experienced in centuries. Wonder. That night the dream returned. Not the corridor. Not the shoreline. A forest. An impossible forest. Trees stretched kilometers into the sky. Bioluminescent rivers flowed between dimensional layers. Massive footprints crossed glowing moss. Lily stood beside Aaron. So I'm not the only one seeing this anymore. Aaron smiled. No. A distant movement caught their attention. Something enormous walked between the trees. Not threatening, not hiding, simply existing. For a moment, Aaron saw the outline of a towering humanoid figure. Then it vanished between layers of reality. The dream shimmered. The image disappeared. Yet the impression remained. Not myth, not fantasy. Life. The deeper layers are inhabited, Lily whispered. A familiar voice answered. They always were. Lyris stepped from the forest light. The dream changed. The forest dissolved into an endless ocean beneath unfamiliar stars. Something vast moved beneath the surface. A shadow larger than cities. Aaron remembered Lily's drawings, the ocean creatures, the impossible ecosystems, the recurring images she never understood. Now they finally made sense. The prison isolated worlds, Lyris said. The interface connected them. Aaron looked across the cosmic sea. How much of reality did we never see? Lyris smiled sadly. Most of it. The ocean darkened. Ancient pathways illuminated beneath the water. Not builder pathways, older. The same structures the witness had called listening roads. Roads connecting consciousness rather than locations. Roads extending beyond every mapped region of the network. Then Aaron noticed something unusual. The witness stood nearby. Watching. Not observing humanity. Observing the dream itself. The forests. The oceans. The life hidden between dimensions. You've never seen this either, Aaron said. The witness remained silent for several moments, then answered, No. The response stunned him. The oldest observer in the network was still discovering new things. The witness looked toward the distant horizon. We found the bridge. The stars brightened. We found the doors. The ocean shimmered. We did not find the beginning. Silence followed. Lyris smiled. The witness was not the first explorer. Aaron froze. The phrase echoed through his architect memories, the same warning, the same mystery, the same unfinished revelation. Before he could ask another question, the dream began collapsing. The forest, the ocean, the stars, everything dissolved into light. Aaron awoke at exactly 3:33 a.m. His communicator was already flashing. Archive priority alert. Unknown pathway activity detected. He opened the report. A new dimensional region had appeared beyond the listening roads. Older than known builder records. Older than the harvest. Possibly older than the witness itself. Daniel arrived first. Lily seconds later. Both looked equally exhausted and equally excited. Aaron handed them the report. Nobody spoke because the implications were obvious. It was ending with a frontier. The final line of the report appeared across every screen. Exploration status recommended. And somewhere beyond the listening roads, beyond the deep strata, beyond every mapped layer of reality, something had begun listening back. Chapter 13. The Deep Strata. The question changed everything. If connection is the answer, then what is it for? For 3 days, the witness studied the answers. For 3 days, the restored bridge carried memories, stories, music, art, humor, sacrifice, and compassion between worlds. For 3 days, the oldest observer in existence remained silent. Then the deep strata responded. It began with Lily's drawings. Again, the sketches appeared during sleep. Impossible forests, towering humanoid figures moving between trees larger than mountains, ocean creatures drifting beneath unfamiliar constellations, entire ecosystems existing within luminous dimensional currents. This time, the images were sharper. Closer, realer, not symbols, places. Aaron studied the latest pages spread across the silent archive table. Daniel stood beside him. Neither spoke for several moments. Finally, Daniel pointed toward a massive silhouette partially hidden within one drawing. "That's the 6th time you've shown me something that looks like a Sasquatch." Lily rolled her eyes. "I am not drawing Sasquatches. You absolutely are. I'm drawing what I see." Aaron looked carefully at the figure. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't primitive. It looked intelligent, ancient, patient, watching from another layer of reality. The same beings appearing throughout shared dreamer reports across Earth. Felicitaturn. A priority alert interrupted them. Unknown pathway activity detected. Deep strata access event. The room fell silent. Nobody had seen that designation before. The witness appeared moments later, not as a towering cosmic presence, as a localized projection, smaller, more focused, almost human in scale. It had begun doing that recently. Learning, adapting, experimenting with perspective, Aaron noticed immediately. "So you've changed too?" The witness considered the statement. "Yes." The answer surprised everyone, not because it spoke, because it sounded pleased. The projection expanded. New maps appeared. Not star maps, phase maps. Reality layered atop reality, the same dimensional stack described within the oldest builder archives. Reality existed as overlapping strata occupying the same location while resonating at different phase states. Physical space was only one layer. Thousands existed beyond it. Daniel stared. "That's impossible." The witness tilted its head. "You say that often?" Lily laughed. Aaron nearly did too. The witness had discovered humor. That realization felt oddly important. Felicitaturn. The projection zoomed deeper. Below known dimensional corridors. Below sideways translation routes. Below grey transport pathways. Below reincarnation channels, a new region appeared. The deep strata. Lyris emerged beside the display, not physically. A preserved consciousness echo carried within the bridge. Her expression became serious. "The builders rarely traveled here." Aaron frowned. "Why?" "Because even they didn't fully understand it." That answer immediately captured everyone's attention. The deep strata resembled an ocean, not metaphorically, structurally. Reality currents flowed between dimensional layers. Entire ecosystems drifted through phase states. Civilizations existed within overlapping resonance zones. Life evolved differently there. The laws of distance barely applied. Felicitaturn. Then the images arrived. Massive beings moved beneath luminous dimensional seas. Forest civilizations hidden one phase deeper than Earth. Mountain kingdoms occupying adjacent resonance layers. The same locations repeatedly appearing in Lily's artwork. The same anomalies hidden within ancient folklore and dreamer reports. Felicitaturn. Aaron looked toward Lily. "You were seeing this months ago?" Lily nodded slowly. "I just didn't know what I was looking at." The witness displayed another archive. Builder exploration records, lost expeditions, missing surveys, unmapped regions, entire missions that vanished after entering the deep strata. The designation repeated constantly. Listening roads. Daniel enlarged the file. "What are listening roads?" For several seconds, even the witness remained silent. Finally, Lyris answered. "Connections between consciousness rather than locations." The room became quiet, because that somehow felt stranger than dimensional travel. The archives continued. Some explorers reported encountering enormous intelligence networks embedded directly into reality. Others described cities existing simultaneously across dozens of phase states. One expedition claimed to encounter travelers older than the builders themselves. That report ended abruptly. Aaron felt cold spread through his chest. The architects beyond. Lyris looked at him, surprised, then nodded. You remember more now. The witness focused on a final archive, the oldest record recovered so far, older than the prison, older than the bridge, older than known builder civilization. The file contained only one sentence. The witness was not the first explorer. Philisita turn. Nobody spoke, not even the witness. For the first time, the ancient observer appeared unsettled. Curious, but unsettled. Aaron realized why. The witness had spent billions of years asking questions. Now it had discovered a question older than itself. That night, the dream returned. The shoreline, the cosmic ocean, the stars. Only now another pathway appeared beyond the horizon, a spiral corridor descending into glowing depths. The listening roads. Aaron stood beside Lily. The witness stood nearby. So did Lyris. None of them moved. All four stared toward the opening. Something enormous passed beneath the ocean. Not threatening, not hunting, simply existing. The outline stretched for hundreds of kilometers before disappearing into dimensional currents. Lily whispered, "That's one of them." Nobody disagreed. Then distant lights appeared. Cities, entire civilizations hidden within the deep strata. Not prison worlds, not survivor worlds. Unknown worlds, waiting, watching, listening. A voice emerged from the darkness. Not from the witness. Not from Lyris. Not from the bridge. Something older, something deeper. "Welcome, children of the third door." The ocean erupted with light. The listening roads awakened. And somewhere beyond the deep strata, beyond the witness, beyond every known map of reality, the next frontier opened. Chapter 14. The Listening Roads. The voice should not have existed. "Welcome, children of the third door." Its words continued echoing long after the deep strata vision ended. Aaron awoke, gasping. The shoreline was gone, the cosmic ocean was gone. Yet the feeling remained. Something had spoken from beyond the witness. Something older. Something waiting. 3 hours later, the silent archive entered a state nobody had ever seen before. Entire sections of builder memory storage activated simultaneously. Dimensional maps flooded across the central chamber. Unknown pathway records, lost expedition logs, forbidden exploration sectors. Every display carried the same designation. Listening road access authorized. Daniel stared at the screens. "I don't think we're supposed to have this." "No," Aaron said quietly. "I think someone decided we're ready for it." The witness appeared, not as a projection, not as a dream, as a direct presence inside the archive itself, smaller than before, more focused, more personal. The transformation continued. The ancient observer no longer felt distant. It felt engaged, curious, almost excited. "You have questions?" Daniel laughed nervously. "That's probably the understatement of the century." To everyone's surprise, the witness paused, then replied, "I am learning humor." Lily nearly fell out of her chair laughing. The maps expanded. Reality unfolded like layers of an infinite ocean. The interphase medium, the deep strata, adjacent dimensional ecosystems, quantum resonance corridors. The architecture matched concepts hidden within the oldest builder records. Reality consisted of stacked phase layers occupying the same location while operating at different resonant states. Physical space represented only a fraction of existence. The witness highlighted a pathway. It did not connect locations. It connected awareness. Daniel frowned. "That's impossible." The witness tilted its head. "Your species continues to use that word for things that exist." Nobody argued. Lyris appeared beside the projection. Not fully present, not entirely absent, a luminous echo carried within the restored bridge. "The listening roads aren't transportation routes." Aaron looked toward her. "Then what are they?" Lyris smiled softly. "They are relationships." The room became silent, because somehow that answer felt larger than any technology. Builder archives opened. Expedition reports scrolled across the displays. Teams had traveled through phase corridors millions of years earlier, not searching for resources, not seeking conquest, searching for understanding. Some journeys crossed dimensional oceans. Others entered forest civilizations hidden within neighboring resonance layers. Several described enormous beings living inside the deep strata itself. Not monsters, not gods, residents. Entire ecosystems existing one phase beyond ordinary perception. Exactly like the images Lily had been drawing for months. "Philisita." Aaron turned toward her. "You were seeing all of this?" Lily looked down at her sketchbook. The impossible forests, the mountain beings, the ocean leviathans, the luminous cities. The drawings no longer felt symbolic, they felt documentary. The witness opened another archive, the oldest yet recovered. Several exploration teams vanished while traveling the listening roads. Most never returned. A handful did. Their reports carried identical warnings. The roads change those who walk them. Daniel enlarged the files. What kind of change? Lyris answered quietly. They stop believing consciousness ends with themselves. Aaron felt a chill, not fear, recognition. That single idea explained everything: the bridge, the dreamers, the survivors, the witness. The prison had been built upon separation. The listening roads revealed connection. Then the archive displayed something new, a map extending beyond known builder territory, beyond the prison network, beyond the survivor civilizations, beyond even regions the witness had explored. The room became still. The witness itself appeared fascinated. This region is unfamiliar. Aaron blinked. The oldest explorer in existence had just admitted ignorance. A single symbol appeared within the unknown region. Not a door, not a bridge, something else, older. The same symbol from the dream beyond the shoreline. Then another message arrived, not from the witness, not from any known civilization. The translation system struggled. The archive lights dimmed. The deep strata maps brightened. Finally 4 words appeared. The roads remember you. Nobody spoke. Lily felt tears forming unexpectedly. Aaron felt the same thing, not because they understood the message, because some forgotten part of them did. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Thren 4 reviewed the transmission. Ancient builder records activated around him. The former administrator watched dimensional maps unfold across reality. For millions of years, the prison measured Loosh, harvested Loosh, controlled Loosh. Now the original builder documentation revealed the truth. Loosh was never intended as fuel. It was evidence. Evidence that consciousness had created meaning together. The strongest resonance always emerged through connection, cooperation, compassion, and shared experience. The harvesters measured output while ignoring purpose. For the first time, Thren 4 understood what had been lost. Kareth understood as well. The prison extracted emotional energy. The bridge cultivated relationship. The difference seemed small, until measured across millions of years. That night the shoreline returned. Aaron stood beside Lily. The witness stood nearby. Lyris waited beside the water. No one spoke immediately. The stars reflected across the cosmic ocean. The horizon glowed with distant civilizations. The deep strata shimmered beneath the surface like hidden continents. Finally, Aaron looked toward the witness. Have you traveled the listening roads? The ancient observer became quiet, longer than usual, then only partially. The answer surprised everyone. Why? Lily asked. The witness watched the horizon. I was afraid. The admission rippled across the shoreline. The oldest observer in existence. Afraid. Of what? Aaron asked. The witness turned toward the gathered civilizations. Its voice softened. That connection would change me. Lyris smiled. It already has. For the first time, the witness smiled too. The ocean erupted with starlight. The listening roads illuminated. Thousands of luminous pathways stretched beyond the known network, beyond the survivors, beyond the prison, beyond the witness, toward mysteries older than memory. Then the horizon shifted. Something moved within the distant glow. Not threatening, not hostile, waiting, watching, listening, the same presence that had welcomed them from beyond the third door. A final message crossed the stars. Not spoken, felt. The next frontier is not freedom. The next frontier is understanding. Aaron awoke before dawn. The silent archive alarms were already sounding. New pathway activity, new deep strata discoveries, new transmissions from beyond the known network. The exploration era had begun. The prison was ending. The bridge was returning. The listening roads were opening. And somewhere beyond every known map of reality, ancient civilizations were beginning to answer. Chapter 15. The Deep Current. The transmission should not have existed. To those who remembered, welcome. For 72 hours the message remained untranslated beyond those 4 words. The silent archive could identify no source, no relay signature, no builder encoding, no warden architecture, no survivor civilization marker, nothing, which frightened the experts and fascinated the witness. Aaron stood inside the central archive chamber as thousands of stars rotated above him. The restored bridge had continued expanding. Unknown pathways multiplied daily. Entire regions of reality appeared beyond the mapped network. The archive had given them a name: Deep Current Regions. Nobody knew what that meant. Daniel enlarged the newest map. What if these aren't locations? Lily looked up from her sketches. That's becoming a dangerous sentence. Daniel pointed toward the display. The pathways moved, not visually, structurally, like currents inside an ocean. Aaron immediately remembered the shoreline, the cosmic sea, the dreams, the third door. For the first time, he wondered if the ocean had never been symbolic. The witness appeared beside the projection. Not towering, not distant, present, almost human in its curiosity. I have reached a similar conclusion, Daniel blinked. You think reality is literally behaving like an ocean? The witness tilted its head. Your species continues to be surprised when metaphors are also true. Lily laughed. The witness paused, then smiled. It was getting better at humor. A new archive layer opened. Builder exploration records. Older than any yet recovered, the title appeared across the chamber. The Deep Current Expeditions. Silence followed. Because the date attached to the records predated the prison, predated the harvest, predated the corruption of Loosh itself. Aaron opened the first report. Explorer vessels had traveled beyond the known bridge, beyond mapped dimensional pathways, beyond conventional space-time. The records described reality as a layered ocean of resonance states. Civilizations existed within neighboring phase layers, occupying the same location while remaining separated by resonance boundaries. Physical space represented only a surface layer within a much larger dimensional medium. Fidecitaturn, another report appeared. Several expeditions described impossible ecosystems, forests stretching across dimensions, living mountain civilizations, oceanic entities the size of continents, entire biological systems existing between resonance layers. Lily's hands tightened around her sketchbook. Slowly she opened it. The drawings matched. Every one of them. The giant forest figures, the mountain beings, the impossible wildlife, the visions she had been seeing since the beginning. You've been drawing places, Aaron whispered. Lily stared at the pages. No. Her voice trembled. I think I've been remembering them. Far beneath Mare Imbrium, Thren 4 studied the same files. The former warden felt increasingly unsettled. The prison archives had always implied the builders represented the oldest civilization. The deep current records suggested otherwise. Several reports referenced encounters with older cultures. Far older. Explorer civilizations that predated the builders themselves. One passage appeared repeatedly. We were not the first explorers. At the same moment, Kareth reviewed another recovered file. The report ended with a statement from an unnamed builder captain. Beyond the current live those who taught us how to listen. Kareth read the sentence 3 times, then a 4th. The implication felt enormous. That night the shoreline returned. Not as a dream, as a gathering. Billions arrived willingly. Humans, survivors, former wardens, dreamers, the witness. The restored community of worlds, all standing beside the cosmic ocean. The water looked different, alive. Luminous currents moved beneath the surface. Entire constellations drifted below the waves. The shoreline was not a place. It was an interface, a meeting point between realities. Aaron found Lyris waiting beside the water. She appeared brighter than ever, almost indistinguishable from the bridge itself. You found the current. Aaron nodded. We found references to it. Lyris smiled softly. That's how every journey begins. The deep current is real? Lily asked. Lyris laughed gently. The deep current is more real than the prison ever was. The answer settled heavily across the shoreline. Then the ocean changed. The horizon unfolded. The stars parted. And everyone saw it. A vast network of luminous pathways extending beneath reality itself. Not the bridge. Something larger, something older, something the bridge had been built to imitate. The witness became perfectly still. For the first time since meeting it, Aaron sensed genuine awe. You have seen this before? Aaron asked. A long silence followed. Then, only once. The answer shocked everyone. The oldest observer in existence. The being who had watched civilizations rise and fall across billions of years. And even it had only seen the deep current once. Then a new presence arrived. Not physically, not visually, emotionally. Warmth, patience, welcome. The same feeling carried by the mysterious transmission. To those who remembered, welcome. The shoreline fell silent. No fear, no threat, no domination, only invitation. A symbol appeared above the ocean, not a door, not a bridge. The new symbol from the unknown pathways, the same one appearing throughout every transmission. Then the message expanded. Welcome to the listening ocean. The words echoed across the stars. Welcome to the deep current. Welcome to the places between worlds. Aaron felt tears forming unexpectedly, not because he understood the message, because some forgotten part of him recognized it. The same feeling from the third door. The same feeling from the listening roads. The same feeling humanity had been rediscovering since the prison fell. Home. The horizon brightened. Shapes moved within the distant glow. Not ships, not structures, civilizations. Entire civilizations traveling along luminous currents between dimensions. Some appeared biological, others impossible to describe, all moving peacefully through a reality far larger than anyone imagined. Lily stared toward the horizon. What are they? Lyris followed her gaze. Her answer carried both wonder and excitement. The next chapter. Aaron awoke before dawn. Archive alerts flashed across every display. New pathway activity, new deep current discoveries, new dimensional maps, new transmissions from civilizations beyond builder history. The exploration era was accelerating. The prison was finished. The harvest was over. The bridge had returned, and beyond the restored network, the quantum sea was beginning to answer. Chapter 16. The Listening Ocean. The message arrived everywhere at once. Welcome to the Listening Ocean. No relay signature, no builder encoding, no survivor civilization marker. The transmission seemed to emerge directly from the deep current itself. For the first time since the prison fell, even the witness admitted uncertainty, and that made the entire network pay attention. Inside the silent archive, Aaron, Lily, Daniel, Kareth, and Thren 4 gathered beneath expanding star maps. The unknown pathways continued multiplying, not through normal space, through something stranger. The maps no longer resembled transportation routes. They resembled currents, living currents, flowing through invisible layers of reality. Daniel enlarged one of the pathways. The deep current isn't a location. Nobody argued. The evidence had become overwhelming. Reality itself appeared layered. The universe humanity occupied represented only one resonant state among countless others. The builders had discovered this long ago. The prison had exploited it, and something beyond both civilizations had mastered it. New archive files continued unlocking. Ancient builder expedition logs filled the chamber. The oldest records described reality as a stack of overlapping dimensional strata occupying the same space, while existing at different resonance frequencies. Travel between them required matching phase states rather than crossing physical distance. Fill a sight a turn. Aaron stared at the data. Lily quietly opened her sketchbook. The newest drawings covered page after page. Towering forest beings, mountain civilizations hidden beneath snow, ocean creatures larger than cities, living ecosystems existing between dimensions. The same images had appeared for months. Now the archive confirmed something astonishing. Builder explorers had encountered similar life forms within adjacent phase layers beyond conventional spacetime. Feel a sight a turn. What if they're real? Daniel asked. Lily smiled faintly. What if they've always been real? The witness appeared beside them. Not as a projection, as a participant. It studied Lily's drawings carefully. These images recur throughout deep current archives. Aaron glanced toward it. You've seen them. Only fragments. The answer surprised everyone. The oldest observer in known existence had not explored every region beyond the network. There were still mysteries larger than the witness. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Thren 4 reviewed newly recovered prison records. The files finally explained sideways translation. Grey vessels never crossed space conventionally. They moved through neighboring dimensional layers where geometry behaved differently. The same architecture powered abductions, missing time, telepathic communication, Loosh transfer systems, soul routing corridors, and the Lunar Relay itself. The prison had operated partially outside conventional spacetime for millions of years. Feeler's sight turn. Thren 4 felt another piece of history fall into place. Kareth reviewed parallel archives. The reptilian dynasties had depended upon dimensional transport corridors sustained by harvested emotional resonance. Loosh was never merely energy. It was measurable psycho-quantum evidence of conscious connection. The prison transformed that evidence into fuel. Fill a sight to turn. The original builders had intended something entirely different. That night the shoreline returned. Only now the ocean no longer appeared symbolic. Aaron could see dimensional currents moving beneath the water. Entire civilizations traveled within those luminous tides. Some looked biological. Others resembled living mathematics. Still others existed as songs, colors, or shifting geometries. The listening ocean was not an ocean. It was the deep current visualized by consciousness itself. Lyris waited beside the waves. Brighter than ever, almost transparent, almost part of the bridge. You found the medium? Aaron nodded. The deep current, the larger reality surrounding every universe. She gestured toward the horizon. The builders discovered it. The prison exploited it. And now, Lily asked. Lyris smiled. Now you explore it. The ocean brightened. Far beyond the shoreline, new lights appeared. Not worlds, not stations, cities. Entire civilizations existing between dimensional layers. Some inhabited vast living forests. Others occupied mountain-sized organisms. Still others traveled upon currents flowing through hidden resonance states. Lily stared in awe. Every sketch she had ever drawn suddenly felt like a memory. Then another presence emerged. Not the witness, something older, or perhaps simply farther away. Warmth spread across the shoreline. Welcome, recognition, the same emotional signature carried by the original transmission. Welcome to the listening ocean. A new symbol appeared above the waves. The spiral beyond the bridge. The same symbol dreamers had been drawing across Earth. The same symbol recovered from forgotten archives. The horizon unfolded. And everyone saw it, a network larger than the bridge, older than the doors, extending through dimensional layers beyond known reality. For the first time, the witness appeared humbled. Who built this? Aaron asked. A long silence followed. Then, I do not know. The answer echoed across the stars. Lyris looked toward the distant currents. The witness was not the first explorer. The words settled heavily over the shoreline. Aaron immediately remembered the warning hidden within the archive recommendations. The greatest mystery had never been the prison, or the harvest, or even the witness. Something older waited beyond all of them. Fill a sight to turn. The ocean glowed brighter. New pathways opened. Unknown civilizations responded. Ancient currents shifted. The era of awakening was ending. The era of exploration had begun. Aaron awoke before dawn. The silent archive was alive with activity. New deep current maps, new dimensional pathways, new transmissions, and one final message waiting at the top of the queue. From unknown current to those who remembered, the sea is safe. Come learn. Aaron stared at the words beyond the prison, beyond the harvest, beyond the witness. A larger story was waiting, and humanity had finally reached the shore. Chapter 17. The Quantum Sea. 3 days after the first invitation arrived, the unknown pathways opened. Not with light, not with thunder, not with the impossible architecture humanity had come to expect from the bridge. They opened like currents, flowing, living, moving through reality itself. Inside the silent archive, Aaron, Lily, Daniel, Kareth, Threnfor, Serai, and representatives from dozens of survivor civilizations stood beneath expanding maps that no longer resembled star charts. They resembled oceans. The deep current had revealed its true nature. The pathways were not roads between worlds. They were currents flowing through the interface medium itself. Reality was layered. Dimensions occupied the same space, while existing at different resonance states. The builders had discovered this. The prison had exploited it. But the regions now opening belonged to something far older, something that had learned to navigate the dimensional ocean long before the bridge existed. The witness appeared, not as a projection, not as a distant observer. As a participant, the transformation still surprised everyone. The oldest intelligence in the known network now seemed fascinated by discovery. The currents are changing, it said. Daniel looked up. You sound excited. A pause, then, I believe I am. The room erupted in nervous laughter. Even the witness seemed curious about why. Lily quietly opened her sketchbook. For months she had been drawing impossible things. Towering forest giants, Mountain-dwelling civilizations hidden beneath glaciers. Ocean creatures moving through dimensions. Entire ecosystems existing between realities. Now the deep current maps revealed matching signatures. The same locations. The same biological patterns. The same regions. Aaron stared at the displays. They're real. Lily smiled. I know. New archive records unlocked, ancient builder expeditions, lost exploration missions, forbidden sectors, entire fleets that had traveled beyond mapped reality and never returned. For the first time, the archive contained references to something called the deep strata. Layers beneath conventional dimensional space. Regions where reality behaved differently. Regions where consciousness and matter intertwined. Regions avoided even by the builders. Far beneath Mar Imbrium, Threnfor continued reviewing prison records. The files finally revealed the full truth. Sideways translation. Abductions. Missing time. Telepathic communication. Loosh transfer. Soul routing corridors. Reincarnation pathways. All depended on movement through adjacent dimensional layers. The prison never crossed space conventionally. It moved through phase states. Reality itself had been the transportation system. The realization left Threnfor speechless. Millions of years of certainty collapsed once again. Kareth studied a different set of records, the oldest Loosh research, the original builder findings, before the corruption, before ownership, before harvest economics. Loosh was never intended to be fuel. It was evidence, evidence that consciousness had created meaning together, connection made measurable, relationship made visible. The prison had mistaken the measurement for the purpose. Now the entire network was beginning to understand the difference. That night, the shoreline returned, but it had changed. The cosmic ocean no longer appeared symbolic. Aaron could see dimensional currents beneath the surface. Entire civilizations sailed those currents. Some existed as biological cultures. Others resembled living mathematics. Still others occupied ecosystems spread across multiple realities simultaneously. The quantum sea. The name suddenly felt obvious. Lyris waited beside the water, brighter than ever, more a part of the bridge than a separate being. You've reached the shoreline. Aaron nodded. The deep current. The larger ocean surrounding every universe. She pointed toward the horizon. The builders explored it. The prison hid it. The witness studied it. And us? Lily asked. Lyris smiled. You get to discover it. The ocean brightened. Far beyond the horizon, shapes emerged. Massive, ancient, beautiful. One breached the surface, a living leviathan larger than cities, not hostile, curious. Its passage generated waves of colored resonance that rolled across the quantum sea. More appeared behind it. Entire species moving between dimensions. Wildlife older than civilizations. The deep current was alive. The witness stared in awe. Nobody had ever seen it express awe before. You knew about these? Aaron asked. No. The answer startled everyone. There are regions beyond my observation. The statement carried enormous weight. If mysteries still existed beyond the witness, then exploration had only begun. Suddenly another transmission arrived. Not from survivors. Not from the bridge. Not from the witness. The same source that had welcomed them earlier. The signal translated automatically to those who remembered. Welcome to the sea. The horizon unfolded. Entire dimensional civilizations became visible. Forest kingdoms, mountain realms, ocean worlds, living ecosystems woven through the interphase medium. Lily recognized many from her drawings. The same images she had carried for months, perhaps for lifetimes. Then a new symbol appeared above the water. The spiral beyond the bridge. The same symbol dreamers had reported across Earth. The same symbol found inside forbidden builder archives. The same symbol marking unexplored regions of the quantum sea. The witness focused upon it. For a long moment, even it seemed uncertain. Aaron felt a chill. Who built this? Silence followed. Then the witness answered. I do not know. The shoreline became still. Lyris looked toward the distant currents. The witness was not the first explorer. The words settled across the sea like falling stars. Nobody spoke. Nobody needed to. The largest mystery had never been the prison, or the harvest, or the witness. Something older existed beyond all of them, something waiting in regions the builders never reached. The ocean glowed brighter. New pathways opened. Ancient currents shifted. Unknown civilizations answered. The era of awakening had ended. The era of exploration had begun. Aaron awoke before dawn. The silent archive was alive with activity. New deep current maps, new dimensional signatures, new exploration routes, and one final message waiting at the top of the queue. From unknown current. The sea is open. Come learn. Aaron stared at the words. Beyond the prison, beyond the harvest, beyond the witness. A larger story waited. And humanity had finally taken its first step into the quantum sea. Chapter 18. The Departure. The launch took place beneath a sky filled with unfamiliar stars. Not because the stars had changed, because humanity had. 3 months had passed since the opening of the third door. 3 months since the witness asked its question. 3 months since the prison finally fell. The world remained imperfect. Governments still argued. Old systems still struggled. Entire cultures continued adapting to revelations that would have shattered previous generations. Yet something fundamental had shifted. Humanity no longer looked upward in fear. Humanity looked upward in curiosity, and curiosity was proving far more powerful. The silent archive had transformed again. What had once been a hidden repository beneath Arctic stone now served as the headquarters of the first exploration fleet. Representatives from Earth stood beside the Tideborne. Former Grey administrators worked alongside human scientists. Former reptilian wardens exchanged navigation data with dreamers and artists. The sight would have been impossible only a year earlier. Now it felt natural. The bridge was doing what it had always been meant to do. Connecting. Aaron Vale stood before the main observation window. Beyond it floated the vessel Horizon's Call. It was unlike any ship humanity had ever built. Part builder architecture, part human engineering, part survivor world innovation. Its hull shimmered with living resonance pathways. Rather than engines, the vessel carried an interface translation core derived from newly recovered dimensional physics. Reality was not empty. Reality was layered. The prison had hidden that truth for millions of years. Now humanity would travel those layers openly. Not through conquest. Through exploration. Aaron, he turned. Lily approached carrying a sketchbook. The same sketchbook she had carried through the awakening, through the collapse of the relay. Through every impossible revelation. You ready? She asked. Aaron smiled. No. Good. Good, Lily laughed. The people who think they're ready for everything worry me. Aaron shook his head. That sounds suspiciously like Lyris. A warmth entered Lily's eyes. Maybe some lessons are worth keeping. She handed him a drawing. Aaron studied it carefully. Unlike the old sketches of corridors and prison pathways, this image showed something entirely different. An ocean of stars. Living currents flowing between dimensions. Massive structures hidden beneath reality itself. And in the distance, shapes. Towering figures moving through impossible forests. Mountain corridors glowing beneath snow-covered peaks. Enormous creatures swimming through luminous cosmic tides. Aaron looked up. The same dreams? Lily nodded. They keep appearing. Aaron studied the drawing again. Not fear. Not warning. Invitation. Nearby, Daniel Mercer reviewed final navigation data with Sarai. The Tideborne ambassador appeared unusually excited. You're smiling, Daniel observed. Sarai laughed. In my civilization, this is considered a historic day. It is for us, too. No. Her luminous eyes brightened. You don't understand. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Explain. The first generation escapes. She pointed toward Horizon's Call. The second generation heals. Then toward the stars. The third generation explores. Silence settled between them. Daniel realized she wasn't describing humanity. She was describing every civilization that survived the prison. Far above Earth, another observer watched quietly. The witness. No longer distant, no longer hidden, the vast intelligence remained impossible to comprehend fully. Yet it had changed. It no longer merely observed, it participated, it learned, it wondered. Across the restored bridge, civilizations reported something extraordinary. The witness had begun asking questions, not cosmic questions, personal ones, questions about art, music, friendship, humor. The oldest observer in existence was discovering curiosity from the inside. Inside the command chamber, Kareth stood beside Thren-4. Neither would join the expedition. Both had chosen to remain behind and help rebuild. For a moment they watched Earth rotating slowly beneath them, beautiful, fragile, alive. We spent centuries trying to control the future, Thren 4 said. Kareth nodded. And? It turns out the future is much more interesting when it surprises you. The former warden smiled, a genuine smile, one he never would have believed possible. The launch ceremony remained deliberately simple. No military parade, no political speeches, no declarations of ownership, only a gathering, a community, a beginning. Representatives from dozens of worlds shared brief messages. Most offered encouragement, some offered warnings. One message came from an unknown civilization beyond the new pathways. It contained only a single sentence. We look forward to meeting our neighbors. The entire chamber applauded. As launch time approached, Aaron found himself alone briefly, or so he thought. A familiar voice emerged behind him. You always choose the difficult path. Aaron turned. Lyris, not entirely present, not entirely absent, a living echo woven through the bridge. She looked exactly as he remembered, silver eyes, calm smile, infinite patience. Aaron laughed softly. You came. Of course. For several moments, neither spoke. Then Aaron asked the question he had carried for months. Did we do it? Lyris looked toward Earth, toward the stars, toward the fleet. Finally, she answered. You stopped asking how to survive. Aaron waited. She smiled, and started asking what comes next. The launch countdown began. 10. Across Earth, billions watched. 9. Children gathered in schools. 8. Dreamers gathered beneath stars. 7. Survivor civilizations connected through the bridge. 6. The witness watched. 5. The unknown pathways shimmered beyond mapped space. 4. Humanity held its breath. 3. Aaron stepped aboard Horizon's call. 2. Lily followed. 1. Daniel grinned. Let's go find out what's out there. The interface core activated. Reality folded. Not violently, gracefully. Like a doorway remembering how to open. The vessel slipped sideways through dimensional layers. Stars stretched. Colors shifted. The familiar universe transformed into a luminous ocean of phase currents and resonant pathways. The quantum sea. For the first time in history, humanity saw it directly, and it was beautiful. The fleet vanished from Earth orbit, not into darkness, into possibility, far beyond the restored network, far beyond the known pathways, far beyond the prison. The journey had finally begun, and somewhere in the distance, ancient civilizations prepared to welcome new explorers. The age of awakening was ending. The age of exploration had arrived. Epilogue. The place is after the third door. 1 year after the opening of the third door, Earth felt different. Not perfect, not unified, not free from conflict, but awake. The old systems of fear had not vanished overnight. Nations still debated. Economies still struggled. Families still carried scars from revelations that had shattered everything they once believed. Yet beneath the uncertainty, something extraordinary had emerged. Curiosity. Humanity no longer looked at the stars and wondered whether it was alone. Humanity looked at the stars and wondered who it might meet. The difference was subtle. The difference changed everything. The silent archive had become more than a research center. It had become a crossroads. Scientists worked beside dreamers. Former Grey administrators exchanged theories with human physicists. Former wardens helped reconstruct lost builder records. Children wandered museum halls filled with artifacts recovered from worlds beyond the prison network. The Age of Awakening was slowly becoming the Age of Exploration, exactly as Lyris had hoped. Aaron Vale stood within one of the archive's observation gardens. The room overlooked a massive transparent dome where stars glittered above the Arctic night. The moon hung quietly in the distance. Silent, empty. No longer a prison. No longer a machine, just a moon. The sight still felt strange. Lily joined him carrying a sketchbook. More drawings? Aaron asked. She smiled. Always. Aaron flipped through several pages. Bridges, stars, new civilizations, unknown pathways. Then something unusual appeared. A towering figure standing among impossible forests. Aaron paused. You've been drawing these more often. Lily nodded. They keep showing up. The next page revealed another image. A vast mountain corridor hidden beneath snow-covered peaks. Something moved inside the shadows. Watching, waiting. Ancient. The next sketch showed an enormous creature swimming through a luminous cosmic ocean beneath unfamiliar constellations. Aaron felt a chill. Not fear. Recognition. The same feeling he experienced whenever the future brushed against the present. The dreams again? Lily nodded. The same ones? Aaron studied the drawings carefully. Not warnings, not threats, invitations. Across the restored bridge, similar reports continued arriving, shared dreams, ancient cave paintings matching unexplored regions, unexplained biological signatures from dimensional fault zones, Himalayan resonance anomalies, forest events that briefly distorted local reality. None of the reports provided answers. All of them pointed toward the same conclusion. The universe remained far stranger than anyone realized. Far beyond Earth, the witness observed. Yet even the witness had changed. The oldest observer in existence spent increasing amounts of time studying music, art, stories, humor, friendship. The ancient intelligence had discovered something unexpected, wonder, and wonder proved contagious. Inside a small coastal community on the Pacific shoreline, a dreamer child awoke suddenly just before sunrise. Her name was Ava. She sat upright in bed, breathing quickly. The dream lingered, not fading, not dissolving, remaining, as vivid as waking life. Outside her window, dawn painted the horizon gold. Inside her room, she immediately reached for colored pencils. The urge felt irresistible, important, necessary. She began drawing. An hour later, her mother found her sitting on the floor surrounded by pages. "What are you working on?" Ava didn't answer immediately. She continued drawing, carefully, patiently, as though copying something she had already seen. Her mother sat beside her, then froze. The first drawing showed a towering forest, giants standing beneath impossible trees that glowed with silver light. The second showed an endless mountain corridor where enormous figures moved through snow and mist. The third revealed a creature larger than any whale swimming beneath strange stars across a luminous cosmic sea. The fourth showed a spiral symbol suspended beyond a vast network of bridges and doorways. The symbol seemed alive, older than the bridge, older than the prison, older than memory itself. Ava finally lowered her pencil. Her mother stared at the pages. "What are those?" The child smiled, a calm, knowing smile far older than her years. Then she pointed toward the spiral beyond the bridges. "The place is after the third door." Outside, the sun rose. Across Earth, explorers prepared new expeditions. Across the bridge, survivor civilizations opened forgotten pathways. Across the unknown regions beyond mapped reality, ancient mysteries waited patiently. The prison had fallen. The harvest had ended. Freedom had returned. And now something even greater was beginning. Exploration. Somewhere beyond the farthest horizon, new friends waited to be met. New questions waited to be asked. New stories waited to be lived. And far beyond the restored bridge, where even the witness had never traveled, older realities were beginning to stir. The journey through the prison had ended. The journey into the quantum sea was about to begin.